Welcome back, dreamers. Today is not just another video. Today is the day you decide to transform your mindset, because what you're about to hear is not just motivation, it's a revolution. You see, nothing in life will manifest just because you imagine it. Nothing will improve just because you hope for it. You have to act at least once, at least today. You may not be the wealthiest person in the room. You may not be the most influential. You may not be the luckiest, strongest, or most gifted. But if you are resilient, you are unstoppable. Because resilience outlasts talent, resilience creates habits, resilience forges champions, and champions conquer challenges even when they're exhausted, doubtful, and wounded. So, today we're diving deep. Today, you're going to discover 20 life-altering lessons about mental resilience. While this video empowers you to build inner strength, it's also designed to enhance your English. You'll expand your vocabulary, improve your sentence structure, and develop your listening skills, all in one transformative experience. Principle 1. Mental resilience means honoring commitments you've made to yourself. Resilience is not about flawlessness. It's not about being invincible every moment. It's about being truthful with yourself. If you say, "I will read for 30 minutes tomorrow," you read not because it's convenient, but because you promised yourself. Even if it's a holiday, even if it's storming outside, even if you don't feel inspired, resilience means you acknowledge the challenge. But still, you persist. Imagine this. You have a goal to meditate every evening. One night you're exhausted. It's been a long day. You feel drained. You tell yourself, maybe just tonight I can skip. But suddenly you remember, no, I promised myself I'm not abandoning my commitment, and you sit down. That brief moment when you battle against your weaker self, that's where your evolution begins. Michael Jordan was once asked, "Do you ever feel like skipping practice?" He replied, "Absolutely, but I push through that feeling." That's what differentiates a legend from a daydreamer. Lesson 2, concentrate on what you can accomplish right now. Most people lose resilience because their minds are trapped in two time frames. 1, the past. What didn't work? Who disappointed them? How frequently they've stumbled? 2, the future. What if it falls apart? What if I falter again? What if people criticize? But true resilience exists in the present. Right now. This minute. This instant. What can you do right now to improve? Can you stand up and stretch? Can you write that first paragraph? Can you put down your phone, then do it? A musician missed a major audition last month. His mind says, "I'm not talented enough. I'll never succeed." But what he's neglecting is this. He can practice just one measure today. He can refine just one technique today. Resilience is not about mastering everything. It's about advancing something right now. And when you repeat that consistently, your entire reality begins to transform. Lesson 3. The discomfort of resilience is preferable to the anguish of surrender. Here's a reality most people overlook. Both paths involve pain, but only one pain leads to growth. You can experience the discomfort of practicing consistently, or you can experience the pain of regret later. You can feel the strain of pushing, your limits, or the burden of remaining stagnant your whole life. You can endure the challenge of resisting distractions, or the disappointment of wasting your potential. Consider this. You procrastinate on an important project. You delay until the last minute. You rush the work. You submit something mediocre. You feel anxious, frustrated, disappointed. And then what do you say? "I wish I had started earlier." That's regret, and it wounds more deeply than resilience. But imagine instead you begin promptly, you work steadily, complete effectively, submit confidently, feel accomplished. That's resilience. And that satisfaction, that self-respect, it's invaluable. 4. Master rejection even when it's uncomfortable. Resilience is not just about what you begin doing. It's about what you cease accepting. And most people falter at resilience because they cannot manage this one fundamental reality. Rejection. You must understand this. Facing rejection is not defeat. Facing rejection is self-discovery. It's self-awareness. It's saying I acknowledge my path, my growth, and my potential. When opportunities disappear after you've given your best effort, accept it gracefully. When someone offers criticism instead of praise, learn from it. When your expectations aren't met but your determination remains, proceed anyway. You see, every time you surrender to discouragement, you are delaying something extraordinary. People might not understand. They may say you're being unrealistic. Yes, you are, because you are constructing something they can't even envision. Let this resonate within you. If you don't learn to handle rejection positively, you are accepting a life below your capabilities. Influential individuals aren't influential because they avoid rejection. They are influential because they transcend. Resilience is not about avoiding challenges. It's about embracing what strengthens and learning from what doesn't. So from today, be prepared to face rejection. No fear, no retreat, because your vision is not trivial and your journey is precious. 5. Keep your aspirations private. Let your progress speak. We exist in a culture where everyone wants to share everything. You set a goal and immediately people announce it, broadcast it, discuss it. But resilience doesn't require attention. Resilience requires commitment. You don't need to tell everyone, I'm going to learn a new language. Just begin learning. Let your conversation skills demonstrate. You don't need to inform your network, I've decided to become healthier. Just improve. Let your energy communicate, louder than your declarations. Here's why. Discussing your goals excessively gives your mind a premature reward. You feel satisfied for announcing it, so you stop pursuing it. But true resilience is different. It's measured. It's personal. It's meaningful. Consider a bamboo plant. During its first years of growth, you observe nothing above ground. But deep beneath the surface, something remarkable is developing. That's your resilience. When you develop privately, you're not distracted by recognition. You're not concerned about opinions. You are free to experiment, to learn, to advance. And when your progress finally emerges, people will inquire, how did you achieve that? And you'll smile because only you understand the internal battle you fought silently. So remember this. Be dedicated to your purpose, not to recognition. Don't announce, just accomplish. Let your transformation astonish the world. 6. Be enthusiastic in your efforts. Embrace the journey. Most people surrender because they focus excessively on the destination. They want the recognition, the status, the achievement, the respect, and when it doesn't arrive quickly, they abandon ship. But resilience is not about pursuing outcomes. It's about embracing the journey like a child who explores not for achievement, but for discovery. Be enthusiastic in your endeavors. Don't worry if others are observing. Don't worry if the advancement seems gradual. Just continue giving your complete effort every single day. When you prepare a meal, prepare it as if it's a masterpiece. When you learn, absorb as if the knowledge is transformative. When you create, create as if it's your legacy. Don't constantly seek validation, because the process is the validation. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to compete with anyone. You just need to engage fully, genuinely, persistently. That's what resilience truly represents. To do the meaningful thing with complete devotion, even if no one acknowledges it. And gradually something extraordinary unfolds. You don't just enhance your outcomes, you transform who you are. Because when you embrace the journey, you don't require external motivation. You become unwavering. 7. 1% inspiration. 99% resilience. Most people wait for inspiration. They say, I'll begin creating when I feel inspired. I'll start the project when I'm energized. I'll pursue my dream when I'm motivated. But the truth is uncompromising. Inspiration is fleeting. Resilience is enduring. Inspiration is a flicker. It ignites rapidly and extinguishes quickly. But resilience, that's the enduring flame you nurture with your own commitment. If you depend on inspiration, you'll be productive for a day. If you cultivate resilience, you'll be productive for life. Ask any innovator. Ask any visionary. Ask any pioneer. They'll all reveal the same insight. Most days I didn't feel particularly inspired, but I persisted anyway. Resilience is when you continue without external encouragement. Resilience is when you advance without waiting for perfect conditions. Resilience is when you declare, I don't prioritize how I feel. I prioritize what I promised. Let this penetrate your consciousness. You don't communicate with loved ones only when you're inspired. You don't fulfill responsibilities only when you feel motivated. You do it because it matters. Now, approach your dreams the same way. Inspiration is valuable for igniting, but resilience, that's what completes the journey. 8. Acquire new wisdom every single day. Resilience is not just about routines and systems. It's about expanding your perspective. It's about becoming wiser than who you were yesterday. If you're experiencing the same patterns every day, entertaining the same thoughts, living the same experiences, you are not resilient. You're just recurring. True resilience is the decision to evolve. Make a commitment every day. Discover one new insight. It might be modest, a new concept, a new approach, a new understanding. But it must be fresh. And it must be consistent because learning sustains your vitality. It maintains your clarity. It preserves your curiosity. You don't need formal education to develop. You need openness. You need eagerness. You need persistence. Ask yourself each evening, what insight did I gain today? And if the answer is none, awaken and redirect your path. Growth isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's gradual. But when you continue learning day after day, you're constructing a foundation nobody can undermine. Because wisdom is liberation, and resilience is the element that secures it. 9. Make choices from your future self, not your present emotions. Resilience dissolves when we make decisions based on how we feel temporarily instead of who we aspire to become. Let's emphasize this slowly. Don't make decisions based on your emotions. Make them based on your vision. Your current self might prefer comfort, rest more, consume carelessly, waste opportunities. But your future self, that version of you who's accomplished, respected, fulfilled, and purposeful, that version values effort, challenges, development, and consistency. So whenever you're about to decide, ask this powerful inquiry. Will this benefit the future me? Because that's what resilience truly embodies. It's prioritizing your future potential over your current convenience. It's declaring, yes, I'm drained, but I'll still advance. It's acknowledging, yes, this is demanding, but I will not surrender. It's recognizing, I may not witness the outcome immediately, but I'm developing something significant. The reality is, every minor decision is a component in the structure of your future. Each time you act with resilience, you are composing the narrative of your life. Not with phrases, but with selections. People who succeed don't always feel confident. They just condition their mindset to honor the future, not the feeling. So starting today, stop questioning yourself. Do I feel like it? Start asking, does my future self deserve this? And behave like the person you aspire to become. 10. Shield your evenings. Master the final hour of your day. The way you conclude your day is the way you influence your progress. Resilience culminates not at sunset, not after dinner. It culminates the moment you prepare for rest. If you control your evening, you will enhance your recovery. But if your evening controls you, then you are always depleting your resources. You end the day. You check notifications endlessly. You lose. You consume negative content before sleep. You lose. You conclude the day with chaos and tension. You lose. The final hour of your day is your mind's most vulnerable hour. It's like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it flourishes during your rest. So, plant something nurturing. Wind down like a guardian. Wind down and remind yourself what you're nurturing. Don't allow the world to drain you. Restore yourself. Read something uplifting. Relax your body. Review your progress. Reflect on your blessings. Even if it's just 20 minutes, make it meaningful. Because if you don't protect your evening, exhaustion will diminish your potential. And if exhaustion diminishes your potential, you'll always function from depletion, not from inspiration. Resilient people don't just rest effectively, they prepare for rest with intention. They understand that evenings are not just for ending, they are for rejuvenating. So shield your evenings like a gardener protects a seedling. Do not let the screens, the negativity, the pressure, or even your own restlessness disrupt that final hour. Make that time sacred, and you will gradually make your entire well-being sacred. 11. Don't await ideal circumstances. Resilience commences with what's available. One of the greatest misconceptions that prevents people is this: I'll begin when everything aligns perfectly. No, you won't, because nothing will ever be flawless. You will never feel completely prepared. You will never possess all the resources, all the assurance, all the security. Champions don't wait for ideal conditions. They initiate with limited tools. They start when it's complicated. They begin with uncertainty in their minds and apprehension in their hearts. But they begin. Resilience is not about the perfect scenario. It's about maximizing what you have at this moment. You have 15 minutes, utilize them. You have limited equipment, work with it. You have obstacles, transform them into stepping stones. You have uncertainty, convert it into exploration. Because here's the reality. You don't need an optimal beginning. You just need unwavering determination. Consider all the individuals you admire. They didn't wait. They constructed their future with one imperfect action at a time. Don't let your rationalizations sound more convincing than your aspirations. Don't declare, I'll pursue it when conditions improve. Because improvement often emerges from engagement. Say, I'll maximize what's accessible now. That's resilience, not perfection, but persistent advancement, even when circumstances aren't favorable. And trust this, when you accomplish with less, your achievement becomes even more inspiring. 12. Establish guidelines for yourself and adhere to them like principles. Resilience becomes more manageable when you have structures. The challenge is most people exist without guidelines. They merely react to circumstances. They don't direct them. Here's the crucial insight. Create your own guidelines. Document them. Honor them and follow them like they're fundamental principles. Establish a guideline. I reflect before responding to criticism. I don't make decisions when emotionally overwhelmed. I review my progress weekly without judgment. I don't rest until I've completed my primary objective for the day. Now, here's the transformative element. These guidelines aren't for external validation. They are for your development, and maintaining them builds self-confidence. Every time you follow your own guidelines, your consciousness affirms, I trust you now. You're committed. And that trust evolves into assurance, and that assurance evolves into momentum, and that momentum evolves into transformation. But if you disregard your own guidelines, you diminish that trust. Your mind concludes you lack conviction. So don't just set objectives, establish guidelines, adhere to them. Resilience strengthens when it's supported by your own framework. You don't need countless guidelines. Even 5 meaningful personal principles can revolutionize your reality. Because resilience isn't solely about action. It's about integration. Aligning your actions with your aspirations. 13. Replace I'm overwhelmed with I'm capable. Let's be candid. Most people are influenced by their internal dialogue. They declare, I'm overwhelmed by challenges. I'm overwhelmed by responsibilities. I'm overwhelmed by expectations. And then they operate according to those assertions. Your mind responds to your internal dialogue more than anything else. I'm capable of managing this challenge. I'm capable of organizing these responsibilities. I'm capable of exceeding these expectations. Not because it's simple, not because it's comfortable, but because growth demands it. I'm overwhelmed is a limitation. I'm capable is an affirmation. Let this resonate deeply. Your mind responds to your internal dialogue more than any external influence. So when you affirm I'm capable, your mind prepares for achievement. Your energy elevates. Your potential awakens. Begin communicating with yourself like a leader, not a victim, not a pessimist, not a diminished version of yourself. Declare it confidently. I'm capable of becoming resilient because my potential depends on it. And once you transform your dialogue, you will transform your responses. And once your responses transform, your entire existence will begin to elevate. 14. Acknowledge your setbacks, but never dwell in your disappointment. Use it as motivation. One of the greatest indicators of a resilient individual is this. They acknowledge when they stumble, not because they're vulnerable, but because they're strong enough to confront their reality. Most people avoid their setbacks. They withdraw. They deceive themselves. They attribute fault elsewhere. But resilience initiates when you acknowledge, this was my miscalculation, and I will address it. It's tempting to appear confident by pretending everything's under control, but authentic strength is declaring, I experienced a setback, but I will not remain here. Your history doesn't disqualify you, but denying it, that does. The longer you pretend you're unaffected, the longer you remain stationary. But the moment you acknowledge, I faltered, I procrastinated, I compromised my standards, I disappointed myself, something remarkable occurs. You reclaim your authority. Why? Because now you're no longer concealing an uncertainty. You're stepping into clarity. And once you're in clarity, you can develop. So acknowledge your setbacks openly, but then affirm, I will not define myself by this setback. I will rise beyond it. Because individuals who persist after stumbling are the ones who eventually excel. And individuals who confront their reality are the ones who finally discover their freedom. 15. Maintain your system even when you lack enthusiasm, especially then. Resilience doesn't reveal its true impact when you're passionate. It reveals when you're depleted, discouraged, vacant, unmotivated. That's the moment. That's the proving ground. That's where champions are forged. A fragile mindset declares, not now. A resilient mindset whispers, it's challenging, but I honor my commitment. You see, your system is your foundation. Every time you adhere to your system, you are reconstructing your mindset gradually like a structure becoming stronger under pressure. Yes, you'll become fatigued. Yes, you'll consider abandoning ship. But every time you maintain your system, despite your mood, you are declaring to the universe, I direct my journey, not my hesitation, not my mood, not my limitations. And that's how legacies are established. Not in moments of inspiration, but in moments of resilience without emotions. Rise when you plan to rise. Develop what you committed to develop. Nourish what strengthens you. Complete the mundane task, the demanding task, the solitary task. Because every day you follow your system, you construct something that no one can diminish. Unshakable self-regard. People desire self-acceptance, self-worth, self-assurance. But they misunderstand the process. It's cultivated in the system. So maintain it every single day, because that's where your metamorphosis resides. 16. Stop evading your thoughts. Learn to reside in your awareness. In today's environment, everyone is addicted to evasion, distractions, devices, scrolling, noise, anything to avoid introspection. But resilience necessitates the opposite. You must engage with your thoughts. You must learn to understand your mind. Why? Because in awareness, truth communicates. In awareness, you recognize your patterns, your tendencies, your justifications. You comprehend why you abandon efforts, why you repeat behaviors, why you undermine progress. Most people never advance because they never pause sufficiently to reflect. But when you choose awareness, even for 15 minutes daily, you cease evading your truth. You begin to observe. You begin to recognize. You begin to awaken. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Your mind will resist. Check notifications. Do something. Anything but introspect. Breathe. Allow the discomfort to surface, and then something extraordinary unfolds. You begin to detach yourself from your conditioning. You realize you are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the navigator, the essence. And when you attain that level of consciousness, resilience becomes more accessible because now you can perceive the reality because awareness is not vacant. It's abundant with the solutions you've been seeking. 17. Learn how to preserve energy and become formidable. Here's an insight that few people comprehend. Resilience is the art of conservation, of allocating energy wisely. We inhabit a world where everyone disperses energy indiscriminately, scattered focus, scattered commitments, scattered priorities. But resilient individuals, they train their minds to declare, not everything deserves my energy. I will conserve. I will focus. I will allocate it purposefully. This is the characteristic of every achiever. They don't squander vital resources. They are focused on sustainable excellence. You expend energy on trivialities, deplete yourself now, struggle later. You distribute energy without priorities, feel busy now, remain stagnant later. But when you train yourself to preserve energy, something uncommon occurs. You become unstoppable. While others deplete themselves on irrelevancies, you're channeling energy into meaningful growth. While others exhaust after minimal effort, you're still advancing at peak performance. You don't function like the masses because you're not destined for mediocrity. You are a creator, a persistent force, a composed champion, and your ability to preserve, to channel energy into what truly matters, that's your advantage. So next, time you feel pulled in numerous directions, remind yourself excellence doesn't fragment and neither will I. Preserve energy, embrace focus, develop in harmony, because when your opportunity arrives, you'll be formidable. 18. Accept that not everyone will value your journey and proceed regardless. One of the most challenging realities of a resilient life is this. Not everyone will recognize your efforts. Your associates might consider you excessive. Your circle might not comprehend your dedication. People might question your focus, your determination, your sacrifices, but absorb this deeply. They don't need to value it. You need to remain devoted. You aren't here for approval. You are here to evolve. And evolution is solitary. Resilience is solitary. But it's worthwhile. Let them question. Let them doubt. Let them remain in their comfort zones. You're constructing a new reality. You're developing when no one's observing. You're investing when no one's encouraging. And that is the distinction between ordinary and extraordinary. You will transcend limiting environments. You will outgrow certain connections, but you will acquire something priceless. A life that feels authentic. A life that feels sincere. A life that feels purposeful. So continue advancing with or without their recognition. Because one day, they will inquire, how did you accomplish it? And you'll respond quietly. Because while they observed, you acted. 19. Honor your boundaries as if they're invaluable because they are. Most people don't falter because they're unmotivated. They falter because they surrender their boundaries to external demands. They compromise their priorities for arguments, for validation, for pleasing everyone, for matters that won't impact their legacy 5 years from now, not even 5 days from now.
You see, every time you compromise a boundary with something insignificant, you are compromising your potential. Every time you scroll mindlessly, engage in pointless debates, participate in meaningless gossip, you are draining your clarity,
Your focus, your momentum. So inquire daily, is this enhancing my journey or distracting from it? Is this promoting my growth or merely occupying my attention? People who thrive do not just manage their schedules. They manage their attention, their environment, and most crucially, their boundaries. They understand that not every demand deserves consideration, not every message requires acknowledgement, not every opinion deserves engagement, and not every request deserves acceptance. Because your boundaries are your foundation, and every single day you are either reinforcing what builds your future or weakening it with what gradually undermines it. If you aspire to develop, stop tolerating energy drains. Stop engaging with negative influences. Stop feeding distractions. Start guarding your peace like an irreplaceable asset, because the more boundaries you honor, the more capacity you'll possess to create, and creation is the essence of resilience. So next time something requests your attention, ask yourself, is this deserving of my energy? Because once your energy is depleted, so is your advancement, your clarity, your resilience. Protect it, respect it, live by it. 20. Have faith in yourself. Value yourself openly and think like a visionary. This is the most transformative step, the final step, the one that sustains everything else. Because without this, no strategy, no resilience, no system will ever endure. You must, with every dimension of your being, trust that you are deserving. Even if no one else believes in you, even if people doubt you, even if you've struggled countless times, you must be the one voice that whispers, I still believe in my potential. Because without self-trust, your journey will always seem insurmountable. You'll advance slightly and retreat in doubt. You'll initiate something meaningful and abandon it the moment it becomes challenging. You'll diminish every time life becomes demanding. But when you begin to value yourself openly, when you declare to your reflection, I am not defined by my struggles. I am becoming. When you replace I'm stuck with I'm progressing. When you fill your mind with affirmations like, I am resourceful, I am developing, I am resilient. That's when the genuine transformation occurs. You become your own beacon. You stop seeking others to acknowledge your worth because you finally recognize it yourself. Yes, it's demanding. Yes, the world will challenge you. Yes, you'll feel isolated sometimes. But even on those days, look at yourself and affirm, I may not be where I aspire to be, but I am not where I began. Your faith in yourself becomes your foundation. Your appreciation for yourself becomes your protection. And your thoughts, constructive, compassionate, empowering, they become the connection between where you are and where you are destined to be. So speak life into your journey. Affirm it daily. I am strong. I am focused. I am growing. I am not surrendering. Because when your mind believes in you, your heart follows. And when your heart believes, your actions elevate. And when your actions elevate, your entire existence begins to transform. Mental resilience is not just about systems. It's about respecting yourself sufficiently to fight for your potential. And now, a final message to you. Yes, you listening to this. This is your opportunity. Not tomorrow. Not eventually. Now you've invested years waiting for motivation, for someone to encourage you, for life to finally become more manageable. But you don't need manageable. You need transformation. And the transformation is, you already possess everything within you. Every principle you just heard, every message, it was crafted for the champion within you, for the version of you who desires more, who envisions greater possibilities, who's exhausted from surviving and ready to thrive boldly, fully, authentically. This isn't just another video. This is an awakening. This is a reflection. This is your signal to stop postponing, to stop diminishing, to stop questioning. You exist for something greater. You were designed for more. And if you have the resilience to show up consistently, even when it's challenging, even when it's isolating, your reality will become unrecognizable. Not just because of achievements, but because of who you will become. So if this resonated with your spirit, if this expanded your perspective, if even one insight felt as if it was crafted specifically for you, then don't conclude here. Subscribe to Avenue of Words. Not just for enhancing English, but for becoming the most resilient, clearest, most empowered version of yourself. Here, we don't just share language, we share life, resilience, growth, belief, and becoming unshakable. Your journey commences now, and we are accompanying you. Begin, elevate, and never, ever, ever surrender. Your future self is already celebrating your courage. Don't disappoint them. Let's proceed.